How's it going? Welcome to this week's video. Today we're going to be... Let's try... Face is looking a bit ghostly here. Here we go. Today we're going to be ranking every title or major title released by Multimorphic for their P3 Pinball platform. I want to just out the gate, this is not a hate video towards P3. It is quite the opposite, to clarify. It might seem a bit negative at certain points, but it's quite the opposite. I have a lot of respect for the P3 platform, and I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get to the tier list. So just a bit of background. I have played the majority of their releases and have had semi amounts of and have played them a decent amount, is what I should say. Just waiting for my computer to catch up. There we go. Nice. So for those of you that don't know, P3 is a pinball platform in which you buy this one massive cabinet. Well, not massive, just a regular pinball cabinet, and it doesn't come with a game, if that makes sense. It's a blank cabinet, and it has a big TV screen and flippers over the screen, and the screen can track the ball over the screen, and it's got the back of it is real empty, and there's a hole there for you to put in your own game into there. So when you first buy a P3, you buy the cabinet, and then you get to choose a game, or preferably multiple games. And then you can swap those games in and out, and the software changes with it all. There's art blades and all that. Yeah, we'll just get that out of the way. I have a lot of respect for the P3 platform. It is engineered amazingly, in my opinion. It really could be the future of pinball. I don't know if that's necessarily that's not really the phrase I'm looking for, but I think they're definitely doing something right when it comes to the screen. The screen's done well. They got flippers over the screen, slingshots. I think there's a lot of potential with what they've done, and they've got this massive trough system. They've really future-proofed themselves in that way. There's no shooter lane, but there's just a row of 13 balls underneath the back part of the playfield, and they can all be popped up at any point, and it's very well done. And it can make for some really exciting gameplay. And and so every year or so they come out with a new game to put in the back of your P3 system, and it's significantly cheaper to buy just the game module itself, instead of buying a whole new pinball machine, and it takes up less room. And today we're going to be ranking those modules. I have played a decent amount of them, and have thoughts and feelings. So let's dive into it. I believe I have these all in chronological order. Could be wrong, but I believe the first game is Cannon Lagoon. This is a very unique pinball machine. I'll try zoom in on the game here. There is no pictures of this game for the life of me. This is probably one of the rarest pinball machines I've played, to be honest. And here we can see the P3 in all its glory. So you've got this row of white kind of bricks. They're actually scoops, and from those downwards, that's a whole TV screen, and it has graphics that change, and it's like a TV screen a meter away from your face. It's pretty mesmerizing, and you've got these flippers and slingshots that literally hover over the screen. And then this back third is the module that you can take in and out. And on Cannon Lagoon, you have another screen, because there's nothing more I love about playing pinball than looking at TV screens. However, I have to say, I really do like the screen on Cannon Lagoon. I'm pretty anti TV screens and whatnot on the playfield. I just find that there's just no need for them half the time. However, this is a massive screen, and the graphics look pretty good on it. I won't lie, I like it, and it works with the gameplay of Cannon Lagoon. And Cannon Lagoon has 5 main shots. You've got either a shot on either kind of orbits, and then another shot in between them, and then one massive shot in the middle, and all of them feed kind of like a one-way scoop is the first name that comes to my head. And so every successful shot you make will feed into a big subway system, and then the game will either pop a ball back to your left or right flipper through these wireforms in the back here. Yeah, so single level playfield, pretty rare to see nowadays. Not the only one that they've manufactured. And this is a time-based game. You don't have a ball count. You know, it's not 3 balls in game to game over kind of thing. It's on a timer, and it's a pretty hard game to beat. I think I've done it twice, and I kind of looked at the playfield and thought, well, this playfield looks super easy. These are some of the fattest, most open shots I've ever seen in pinball. I'll be able to nail this, but you really gotta you gotta learn the patterns of all the roaming shots and stuff like that to really get this game down. You really can't miss a shot, or else you run out of time. And so it's not easy to do. I haven't really wanted to ever touch it again after beating it those couple times. However, it felt pretty good to finally nail that final, I don't know, beating the game and not running out of time for a change. And it's probably about where it ends. Pretty much there's always something on the screen at the top, and you've got to shoot whatever shot kind of feeds into that. It'll be like a Kraken, or you're shooting some boats or something. I don't know. There's some different stages. It's been a while since I've had a hoon on this. And yeah, this is aside from enjoying beating it because of the novelty of it, game isn't very great. I mean, I have love for all those guys over at P3 and what they do, but this is the most tech demo demo-y game I've played, and yeah, it really shows. It feels like, yeah, you can tell at this point they weren't designing. They were engineers that could build a pinball machine, but they weren't game designers designing a pinball machine. You know, they could program, they can get all these mechanics going, they can drill posts into play fields and engineer this crazy concept of a pinball cabinet. And then when it comes to the gameplay, it's just a tech demo of this game. To be honest, I've been talking about like literally a tech demo for too long. If you do stumble across one of these, I would recommend playing it maybe once, or even trying to finish it, because it's kind of deceiving because the shots are so open. You think, oh, I'll smash this game easy, and then it might take you five attempts to finally beat the game. Yeah, I'm thinking Cannon Lagoon. Group these. I'm thinking E.T. This game is probably one of the most boring pinball machines I've ever played in that regard. Like, it's just, the shots are not good. They're boring. There's just nothing. However, I like the screen at the back. I think it looks pretty, and I think it works well in the context of this game. But this is like, I don't know how much this module costs. Maybe like 3,000 USD. Maybe I'm wrong. Don't quote me on any of that. I don't know. But with what you'd pay for this module is not worth it. This is like this would have to be something they tie in for free, like like a Wii Sports for the Wii kind of deal, you know, except like Wii Sports it is a tech demo, but has a has a lot more fun to play. This would, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm getting my facts wrong. Anyone from P3 can correct me on that if I am. Maybe this is a pack-in title, and everyone who buys a P3 gets a free Cannon Lagoon as a little tech demo. And if that's the case, it's cool. It's cool. But not a game I would ever buy. You'd have to. I would have to pay you to take that game off of me. And I believe that's their first release. I went on their website and they kind of got like all their games from the latest to the oldest, and that was the oldest. Next up, we have a way more fleshed out game. We've got Lexi Lightspeed, Escape from Earth, an original theme. Not really a theme I understand, but I haven't really looked into it. And here I think we have a 3D render of the game. And this is a weird game. This is a super weird game. I played it a decent amount. I've included it in a in a pin golf tournament I organised, and was quite looking forward to seeing people play it in a competitive setting, which is pretty rare to see. Probably the only time it's ever been used in a tournament, let alone a pin golf tournament. And this game still has kind of tech demo vibes, as a few of the early P3 games have. I would say Cannon Lagoon's a bit prettier. I think this game's pretty ugly. I think this back glass here, I think that's fine. I got nothing against that. I think it's pretty cool. Weird logo, but I kind of mess with it too. Kind of like it. I find the playfield graphics bleh, horrible. I'm not a fan of these playfield graphics, but hey, art is subjective. And on this game you've got like a big screen in the middle because fuck, we need more screens. Now the one I played, that screen wasn't working. It literally just showed the P3 logo on it, so it was practically a billboard at that point. However, it kind of has Attack from Mars influences with this. You've got these 4 targets in the middle, and there's like kind of alien waves that you go through. And from a coding point of view, because I was trying to figure out how to exploit this game and really beat it. There's a combo you can do, something to do with like a skill shot. Or maybe it can be achieved through the skill shot, which is hitting this left ramp here, and then it allows you to like snipe that wave of aliens. So you can like one target will be lit, and if you hit it on the fly after that ramp, kills your whole alien wave, and you don't have to keep spamming those targets, which is pretty overpowered. And you can do that for every single wave. And if you miss it on one of the final waves, I swear you have to hit that target bank like upwards of 30 times to beat it. So it's like, if you get someone that's just nailing it, it's like it's just so overpowered. And if you miss it, you're just like you're locked out. Basically, it's a bit like scrambling the grid on Pinbot or Jackbot. Just on crack. If you miss that shot, there's just no hope of you getting through those final alien stages, which is something you need for the wizard mode. I haven't achieved the wizard mode. I don't care to, man. It's not good. Not a game I enjoy playing, but you've got... I have played it a decent amount now I'm thinking about it. You start your modes on the right. There's just like a scoop, kind of similar to a funhouse mirror kind of shot there, just falls under the playfield. And I'm always hitting that shot on accident, and I don't know why, but I don't know why I had this perspective when I was playing it, but the last thing I wanted to do was starting a mode, which you can select with the alternative flipper buttons. Some of the modes relate to hidden things like rolling the ball over certain images on the TV screen and like serving beers or something. You had to like serve beers by hitting the ball over these like beer mugs. I don't know. I didn't think it was the technology was cool, and again, it's got that tech demo kind of feel. But from a gameplay point of view, it was not a fun mode. As much as I like the idea of hidden targets that are only on the screen, rolling the ball over them. I like that. And hit that shot all the time on accident. I didn't like it. Did not like it at all, especially when you've got this right U-turn ramp. Honestly, one of the hardest shots I've ever experienced in pinball is that right ramp. Think of like the Led Zeppelin right ramp. Very similar vibes, both very difficult shots. Not the same shot, but similar vibes, and both super difficult. And then I've got two more things to say before I move on, because I've spent a while talking about this one. The first thing is you've got this alien UFO thing in the middle, this big 3D printed thing that rotates, and you can shoot the ball in, and it like rotates around. It's like the reel on Fishtails on crack, basically. It's got like 8 slots instead of like the usual 3 on Fishtails, and you can like lock 8 balls in and do a mega mania multi-ball nonsense kind of thing. And it's not a bad shot. It just looks ugly, and it looks like a diseased like nipple or something. I don't know, man. It just looks like this massive diseased nipple, or like a one of those rotary phone things. That was just does not look like a UFO that has crashed into the playfield. And I think that's basically just because the colors are completely off. And then my last gripe is this left orbit feeds your pop bumpers here, and your pop bumpers have these 5 targets above them, and if they can hit all the targets, if they can bump the ball into all 5 of those targets, you get like a playfield multiplier for the rest of that ball. And maybe it's just the copy that I played, but I just could not for the life of me get them hitting the targets. Like, they might hit 1 or 2, but there was no way I was hitting all 5 of them. Even when I just kept spamming that shot, I just couldn't get them hitting all 5. And as someone who wants to exploit the hell out of this game and rack up some big scores, that playfield multipliers, especially ones that last the duration of your whole ball, a pretty good way to try rack some points up. But I will say one nice thing. I do like this left ramp. It's pretty good to hit. You can hit it from both flippers. But Lexi Lightspeed, I can give it credit for having shots. However, it's pretty ugly. I don't enjoy playing it. Very tech demo-y. Don't like the rules. I'm thinking we'll go over this at the end and see if there's anything I change. But I'm thinking E tier for now. And again, I want to preface, this is not a hate video. I like it. It sure seems like it. It sure seems like I hate P3, but that's not it. I care about P3, and I want to give my honest thoughts, because there's a lot of good coming up later on. It just, and as I said before, they weren't necessarily game designers going into business. They were engineers that could build some sick ass pinball tech. And here we have probably the game I've spent the least amount of time on. This is Cosmic Kart Racing. I've definitely had a cheeky play on it in the past. This one's interesting. Again, I think the back glass is pretty cool on this one. I think it's a bit better than Lexi Lightspeed. However, I'm pretty confident it's the same artist. I think this one's pretty cool. Cool concept, Cosmic Kart Racing. I think that's a cool concept, and I think it's got some online activity. You can like race real time your mates who also have a P3 with the Cosmic Kart Racing module, which is pretty cool. I'm yet to experience that though. However, we actually have like a real playfield here. 2 ramps. Some scoops, some orbits, like a big captive ball thing that looks like the Godzilla magnet grab kind of captive ball thing. This is pre-Godzilla, however, it has no magnet function. It just looks similar. It has that cylinder vibe, but I'm pretty confident it's a ball. I like this target to the right of it. Pretty funky design. I respect that. I didn't like the scoop in the middle. Thought that was a real tough shot. And I do like this left ramp. Very small in terms of like when it starts to turn around. It doesn't give you much room. It's a pretty quick return. And this right ramp, I wasn't a fan of the shot. I wanted to, but I wasn't a fan of it. And then we got some kind of orbity things. Maybe there's some pop bumpers tucked away there. I don't remember. No inserts on this playfield, whereas I believe Lexi Lightspeed had inserts, but none on this. You've just got this space pattern, which is kind of cute. Pretty dark game. However, where this game excels is the ramps. These two ramps, especially this right ramp. You can see they've got these grey 3D printed brackets around them. They all have magnets in them, controlled magnets, and the game can do, like, if you've ever played No Fair and you hit that left ramp, you've got some magnets that speed the ball around and keep that speed consistent. This is this is like No Fair on crack, if that's a good way to put it. They can stage the balls with it. You can like lock two balls on either magnet and they'll just be held there, and if you get another ball, they like all move by one. It's pretty cool. It's pretty awesome to watch. A lot of speed. There's a lot of cool shit. I don't remember the rules to this one. I remember not I didn't enjoy playing it, to be honest with you. I didn't like it. And I remember having a lot of frustration with the multi-ball and trying to start it, which is a shame because, like, when you've got tech as cool as these ramps, you'd want to make like a really accessible multi-ball. And maybe my skill level wasn't there, but I don't know. I just couldn't figure out either the rules or the shot. It was definitely the rules I was real confused on. And maybe that's the issue. But and I should have got a photo of it, but you can see these ramps have like this kind of spiny pattern around the edges of them. Those are all controlled RGB LEDs, and there's some crazy light shows. So the ramps are why you play this game. It's pretty sick. I've never seen anything like it, and I wish they'd bring it back. I think it's done pretty damn well and is visually pretty stunning. I'm thinking a good C tier on this one. Again, I couldn't figure out the rules. Didn't really like the shots and how it's shot. Like, I didn't really like how it's shot. But yeah, I think the mechanics are really impressive in this one in terms of the ramps, and the presentation's really cool, and the artwork's fine on it. I just don't like to play it. Again, it feels very tech demo-y. There's no, it's like, yeah, it's for a game that's coming out in the modern age, it just doesn't hold up. Not at all. It's, yeah, again, still has tech demo vibes. However, it's definitely not E tier. I can confirm that. And then this is when I first kind of heard about the P3, was when they released Heist. This was kind of their meant to be their big like there. We're one of the big boys now. Check out this game. And everyone's like, oh, we want original themes. Why isn't Stern doing original themes, man? And then P3's like, we got you. Heist. Speaking about the theme, I really don't care for the theme. If anything, I find a lot of the call-outs cringe. But maybe I'm just being a bit of a dick. I don't know. The artwork, I think it's the same artist that did Cosmic Kart Racing and Lexi Lightspeed. However, I'm not a fan of the style. Not a fan of the style. Not a fan of the colours. It's not the prettiest game. However, We have if we look at the playfield here, world under glass is a term that's thrown around all the time. Everyone's like, oh man, we want to. This game's a real world under glass. You can tell they were really going for this on Heist, because look at all these buildings, man. This is before Godzilla. Heaps of buildings. They're all illuminated. Like it's a rural. It's got a large scale. This game, I feel like these other games feel very low scale. This feels very large. It's got really good lighting. This game has a really surprisingly good light show on it. There's a lot of lighting effects on this back third here, and this was the first P3 to have a top flipper. So on the right hand side here, there's a little flipper that you could install because it's all modular, and it makes this little loop shot here, which is cool. Cool that they've done it. Future proofs their games for more top flipper designs. However, that shot sucks. That shot sucks. It does nothing in the game. It feels pointless. I would rather just completely ignore that flipper, which is what I do. And that's a heist. That's a heist critique there. However, back to those top flippers, they design them in a way that when the flipper's extended outwards, you can shoot the ball behind it, and if you drop the flipper, think of games like Demolition Man comes to mind. You can track the ball behind that top flipper, and then you can hold it there for a little bit until you flip again. And with the way the P3 works, this top flipper is controlled individually. So, which one is just already whack, very unnatural. As someone who's played a lot of P3, I've come to appreciate it, and actually in certain scenarios prefer it. Especially when I'm playing P3, I actually much prefer it. However, it's not natural at first and is really weird. But it means because that top flipper is controlled, if you can get a ball behind that flipper, especially during multi-ball, you can just keep it there as long as you need. And so that's whenever I get a multi-ball in any P3 game with a top flipper, I'm just trapping balls and just exploiting the hell out of it. I don't know who decided that, but I, as someone who enjoys exploiting these games, I enjoy that feature. We've got pretty kind of like a fan layout, you could argue, along this back third. You got some orbits, some ramps. It's pretty symmetrical, and you got this jail gate. Weird shot. I don't like that shot. Doesn't feel good to hit. I feel like it doesn't register half the time. You've got these ramps. Ramps don't feel good. You gotta if you look at the entrances of them, it's real weird. You actually got to be oddly precise, especially on that right one. And so, one thing I find about the P3 platform, or at least the copy I've played, is that you have a lot more accuracy and a lot more strength if you're going to backhand a shot. If a shot is able to be backhanded, that's probably the most consistent and best way to do it. So these ramps, you might think I've got combos for days, and there's some combo-related modes from memory. However, it's pretty hard to get the ball up those ramps from the opposite flipper. You really they're pretty much backhand exclusive on the copy I've played. Doesn't feel good. And yeah, I'm not a fan of these shots. I don't like any of them. I like the orbits, which is the same on all P3. I think they've got a nice orbit shot on there. You're barely ever feeding this top flipper, and whenever you do feed it, it's coming super fast out of that left orbit feed, and you don't have enough time to react. Yeah, not a great top flipper shot, not a great top flipper feed at all. And these shots in the middle I don't like. We've also got a pop bumper hitting some targets in the back, similar to Lexi Lightspeed. I don't remember what that does. Makes some Star Wars sounding sound effects, which feels really out of place. Takes me out of it from a thematic point of view. And yeah, that's kind of my playfield critique there. And you might be thinking, what's this massive dong looking thing in the middle? And if you've seen my video ranking every crane in pinball history, you can see we've got this heist. We've got a big crane in the middle on heist, and that is featured in that video. So if you want to hear my full crane thoughts, check out my previous video on the channel. However, this crane can like lower so the ball can hit it. It can extend out and it can rotate. So it can it's got wide range and it can hold a ball and like you can hit a ball out from under it. Also, when it works, I've barely seen it work. It does not feel good to hit. It is real clunky. It's real slow. Yeah, I'm thinking. Like I played a lot of heist, but I'm thinking C tier. It's definitely a more. I can appreciate the efforts, and it's definitely like this feels way less like a tech demo. The rules are a bit. They're not as interesting rules. It's been so long since I played it, but like you gotta break people out of prison by completing their. You gotta complete their modes, and if you miss it, they gotta go into prison. You gotta play a multi-ball. Cool rules there. I found the modes super hard on this thing. They gave you like a minute to complete every mode. However, I just could not get it done half the time. Like it was super hard to get all these modes done, even though most of them is just like repeating the same shot maybe 5 times. But I don't know. These shots aren't great. However, I think P3 owners, when this came out, would have been pretty stoked with this game because way less tech demoe feels more like, they were proving themselves as someone who can make a real game. And so I commend them in that. Maybe B tier. Yeah, B tier. I can't give it that. Yeah, nah. There's a lot of love poured into that game, which I could appreciate. And next up, I can't believe this was the next game. This is such a crazy jump in quality and design. We've got Weird Al's Museum of Natural Hilarity. Weird Al Pinball. I'm just like looking at Heist and I'm looking at Weird Al, and this is nuts. I haven't played this one in ages. This is a crazy layout. Like this is super unique, super awesome layout. I have a lot of respect for it. I have a lot of respect for the design of this game. Actually, this is one of the most mechanically dense pinball machines I've ever seen. Like this is a dense playfield. This is action filled, and then you look underneath, so much going on. Like so much going on this game. Like this is sick. This is truly awesome. And like a real finally like a decent art package too. I rate that, and I'm not a Weird Al kind of guy. To be honest, the most exposure I've had to his kind of personality and brand is through this game. However, I think it works very well, and there's some awesome shots. There's some more than awesome shots on this game. You can't see it in this picture I've got on screen, but so Heist had one top flipper, top right flipper, and then Weird Al, they said, cool, we're going to do a top left one too. And you've got 2 flippers, top flippers there. And you've got all these shots that they can hit. And it's cool. And you can like crisscross them. And it's sick as hell. The shots feel pretty good. And you've also got an upper play field here with a crazy, like a super crazy shot path. I'm trying to remember exactly how it worked. It was something like there's this cool diverter. I don't know. This game is awesome. I highly rate this playfield. This right ramp here that you can hit from a top flipper, this orange ramp, is one of the coolest ramps I've ever seen in pinball. You gotta have a lot of strength on that flipper, which the copy I played did not. Just did not have any strength. And so it made that shot near impossible. And that goes up and down too. It's not always up, and it locks your balls, and you can shoot this diverter, and then there's a diverter here, and there's diverters here, and all this and that. There's a magnet on the ramp, so you can do some cool effects with that. The ramp lifts up so it can feed these wire forms. This thing is designed so well. From a design point of view, I just like, this is chef's kiss. However, I love the design. It just doesn't. This is just like, maybe it's the P3 copy I've played. I think it's an older copy. Probably one of the first production copies there are. One of the first batches, if I had to guess. This is where I really have to bring up that just the P3 flippers are the worst flippers I've ever played. No hate. I love P3. It's a sick platform. Just the flippers are not good. I find it hard to be precise. I feel like a lot of these shots, there's no real power behind them. And like, to really complain, this game, there's like or at least like the one that I've played, they finally released like a kit where you can like alternate live and gameplay between the individually controlled top and bottom flippers. So like any normal pinball machine, you press the right button and it controls every right flipper, right down the bottom, and any top right flipper, same with the left. And they finally integrated this, finally made it normal. Big win. Hell yeah. But I don't know what went wrong. You can't, like, I go to, it just like, it feels like they're sharing the same power. Like, it feels like if I had 100% power on the bottom left flipper before when it was individually controlled, which wasn't much power to begin with. And then now when it's firing at the same time as the top left one, it's like they're going 50% each. They're like taken from each other. And like, I'm sure that's not the case, but that's how it feels. And sometimes when you've got 4 flippers controlled, when you double flip, sometimes half the flippers don't even go. Like, especially the bottom ones, the amount of times I've gone to flip and the game just doesn't flip. And again, this could just be the copy I've played, but it's just like, I don't know, like the owner of it just has not been able to fix it. And it's just like, how am I supposed to play a pinball machine when I can't trust that the flippers are going to flip, you know? And then sometimes you'll go to make a top flipper shot, and the flipper will like extend, and then as soon as the ball like even puts any amount of force onto that flipper, the flipper just drops back, and the bottom one's still up because I'm still holding the button, and it just doesn't flip. And then when you've got this insane ramp, this orange ramp, this side ramp here, that ball needs to do a whole ass loop, a massive loop. There's just no strength. There's no strength. And I don't like. It's a real shame. The rules on this game, I did find I was only doing modes and just could not get the multi. Oh, I could do the hamster multi-ball. That hamster cage is sick. But I felt like I could never get it up the top play field to try to do some more stuff. I felt as though anytime I was up there, I was either just doing my Bologna or locking hamster locks. That diverter was never the other way, and I really had to try my hardest to like get the ball up there without having something else blocking the UHF shot. I don't know. Maybe that's just the copy I played. It was out of order a lot. A lot of things broke on this game. A lot of things broke. A lot of motors. A lot of things had to be tweaked. And yeah, and like getting this ramp on the right to come down, sometimes it felt like I had to shat the in lane at the right time and have the in lane unlit, or had to have it lit just to get a chance to lower the right ramp to get up there to do some stuff. It felt really hard to feed that top play field when you had other stuff lit. It was always blocked out. I really didn't appreciate that. And the modes were fine. No, the modes were cool. The modes were cool. The theme wise, like crazy graphics for each mode. I like the modes. This is actually I've completed this game and I've got it all caught on camera. I should try find that link to the video because I think some of the P3 guys checked it out and I was pretty stoked with that. But that is a gripe I have with it, just from a rules point of view. But I think design wise, this is one of the I don't know if I can say the best, but like seriously one of the coolest layouts I've ever seen in my life. Weird Al. It's it's a real shame that it's on the P3 platform in that regard, because I think this game could do a hell of a lot better made by like a standard pinball company. And shout out, I think Scott Denisi did the audio on this. Great audio quality on the P3 cabinet. I do appreciate they got like some proper bass in that thing, and you can really feel it at times. And yeah, Weird Al is if you've got access to one, it's a seriously good time. As long as your flippers are actually working and have enough power, there's a lot of fun to be had on this game. Lots of cool shots and insane ball paths that still blow me away looking at it today. For that, I'm thinking A tier. There we go. All right, now we're getting into uncharted territory. I have not played this next game, Drained, made by actually not sure who made this. However, I do know that it is designed by a third party. I think that third party now works for Multimorphic, which isn't surprising, I guess. But they made this. They homebrewed it themselves. They designed it. They designed the rules. I think their daughter did the artwork. Well, probably the most unique art package I've ever seen in a pinball machine. And they managed to get Multimorphic to produce this game for them, but they did it all. So it's designed by a third party, but made by P3. That makes sense. Pretty sure that's the story. And that game is Drained, a single level game with like, I don't know, 1 million targets, a hell of a lot of targets, a gobble hole, one old school looking pop bumper, which is cool, and 6 drops. And already off the bat, massive props to the drop targets. They have mirror decals on them, so it's like you can see in the reflection here it says mirror. Props, highly rate that. Probably the coolest thing about the game. As someone who someone who really wants to critique a game. However, this game, I haven't played it. I don't know anything about the rules. It doesn't look fun, man. Like even if this, like, it's very inspired by the electromechanical era, like, and I'm not doubting that. However, just having that many targets that you can't hit, just like, I don't know, just doesn't look fun to play. I think the coolest kind of section is this top bit, but it's covered by it's covered by this bat. I think the bat's cool. I think the bat is cool. I like how it's like, it's got its silhouette. It's covered by targets on the playfield. I think it's cool. But I just don't see this game getting past the novelty point. like I think I looked it up. It's like $3,000 US. Like, You know, if it was like $200, hell yeah, sick as game. $1,000, oof, $3,000. No, thank you. I will give it props. I do like this little red target here. I think it's very cute. Yeah, and that's about all I can say. Interesting art package. Yeah. I think this is going in the D tier, and I think a lot of that just comes down to the price of it. Like, what are you buying, man? A bunch of targets. I do respect all the star posts in between the targets. I respect that. All right, that harken back to the old days. That's a cute way to do it without just having heaps of shit you can't even hit from the flippers. And just like the previous game, this next one I have not played. This is Final Resistance. Probably the most beautiful P3 game I've seen. Look at these colors. God damn. Artwork by Johnny Crap of Jurassic Park fame. He did Stern Pinball's Jurassic Park, and I believe he might have done Dune Pinball too. He's done a few things. I think he did a homebrew. He's done a few homebrew art packages for people making homebrews. Seems like a pretty chill guy. And this design is by Scott Danesi, so a real pinball designer here. And this is his third game, and kind of I don't know, maybe a spiritual successor to Total Nuclear Annihilation. So Scott did TNA with Spooky, and then Rick and Morty. A great game, in my opinion, a really great game, really underrated. My favorite Spooky game, without a doubt. He did Rick and Morty with Spooky. And then he was quiet for a couple years, and then, bam, he's with P3, he did Final Resistance. Here's the back glass. Pretty cool. Some future sci-fi, yada, yada, yada. I don't really know. Fan layout on this one. We do have the signature Scott Danesi 7-segment display built into the playfield, which I rate. Respect that. We got a scoop. Probably the most sharp shooting Danesi layout we've had. Usually his layouts are pretty funky, just like Rick and Morty and TNA. Very unique layouts. This one, to be honest, like, I'm looking at the right-hand side. I'm trying to figure out what those shots are. I cannot remember. I know there's a big, like, I'm thinking back to Star Wars Episode 1. There's just like a big rubber piece that will come down, and you just hit this rubber. Interesting. Just hitting a direct rubber like that. The spinner shot scoop ramp looks good. And you got this massive spaceship. Massive Transformers looking thing. Shoots some balls out. Moves up and down, I think. That's pretty cool. Probably like, yeah. I think if this, maybe if it had an IP tied to it, there'd be a bit more. This game would be in the public eye a bit more, because I don't know what's happening in that mech. But if it, say, even if this was just Transformers pinball, man, and they had this massive mech, because, like, look at that. That's like, have you seen like a mech sculpt thing of that size? I don't think so. This is probably world record level here. I can't tell you what it does, but it's pretty cool. It's a very pretty game. We've got inserts on the actual playfield, and you've got like the art package. I think they stripped it down, and so instead of having all these like moving videos, they just kind of had one basic kind of playfield with like just permanent like insert looking things on the TV screen itself. And then I assume like text and stuff will kind of pop up as need be, but like it's a bit more static, which I think can be appreciated. This left ramp is a bit boring. I feel like it would be cuter, and if it wasn't so open around it, if there was like maybe some like cool buildings around it, and it's like real tight for that reason, it's getting around the buildings. Even if you just added, just some sculpts there, I think would make it look a lot less empty and a lot less random. But I don't know, maybe it looks better in person. I don't know the rules. However, this game looks real pretty. Some of the shots look interesting, and that mech looks monstrous. So I'm thinking B tier because I can appreciate the art package, and I can appreciate that it looks a hell of a lot less like a tech demo and like just a genuine pinball machine. Thinking B tier, just because, like, honestly, I just haven't played it, and I don't know, it's not. Yeah, it's intriguing, but it's not the most intriguing game. And then getting towards the end here, Princess Bride, their first movie license, and for those who know anything about the pinball industry, you know that movie licensing or licenses are king, and so it's good to see them grab pretty significant license. A nice 80s movie, Princess Bride here, and this game's interesting. The artwork is hit or miss, in my opinion. I don't really like the graphics, but I like the quantity of artwork. Like, this is a trend that you'll definitely see on the next game. That kind of started here, or maybe it even started on Final Resistance. Maybe that's why Final Resistance just looks so pretty. But any surface they can, they've got artwork on it, which I think does them a real favor. I think it helps flesh the game out, and really, does the whole world under glass thing. There's a cute little castle there. We got a real easy center ramp, real weird drop target. It's cool left ramp. There's like the game can like kick it up through the left ramp, can stall the ball there. Just like Weird Al, both the top left and top right flippers are active. However, there's no dedicated shot for this top right flipper to hit at. And this top left flipper has a dedicated shot that you can only hit from that flipper. But from my experience, I haven't found a consistent way to feed that flipper. You've kind of got like this orbit-esque thing that kind of throws the ball at the flipper, but I haven't been able to like consistently get any loops done or find a way to feed that flipper. My strategy is hidden, like waiting for the flippers to get really soft and warmed up, because the copy of P3 I played, if you play it for 5 minutes, those flippers are getting droopy. Like they're freaking made out of porridge or something. And then you can kind of like do a like a really weak shot to this left ramp and then let the ball fall down to your flipper. That's my strategy, personally. Really, I enjoyed this design at first, but in hindsight, I think I was just a bit weird. Like, in the context, Weird Al had crapped out, so I was playing a lot of Heist before Princess Bride came out, and so this was a real nice breath of fresh air. And I can appreciate just the kind of the scale of it, in terms of like everything's got decals on it. But this layout is not great. I like the center ramp and I like the left ramp, but none of the other shots are that good in my opinion. The right orbit's cool. You got a spinner there. Unnecessary top flippers, just really bad top flipper geometry altogether. We do have a cool mech where you can hit this drop target down and then you can like climb the rope up the mountainside there. Really cool. And then this bridge can collapse. I think P3 is really good at doing little details like that. Every time you hit this captive ball, it like makes these swords cross, like mechanically does it. It's really awesome. But just not a great shooter. and I don't really understand the mode structure of this game. Like, I understand how to start a mode and how you've got the 3 spots where you can start different sections and modes, but I don't really understand the drive to complete one section of modes. You get like keys every time you start it. I don't know. I've played, like, it's been so long since I've had a proper go on this game, but when it did come out, I know I did get to a point in a mode where I had hit everything and all the lights kind of turned off because and it just didn't know what to do next. Just some sort of bug where I'd done so much that it was like they hadn't written any further in the code, which was weird. Had to like drain the ball, but where Princess Bride does thrive is in the presentation of the modes and some of the ideas and the unique ideas behind it. One of those being one of the coolest modes is one of the sword-related modes. I'm not the most Princess Bride knowledged person when it comes to the movie, but you got that left-handed swordsman, or maybe he's right. Or they choose to do left. Something to do with being left-handed. And then during that mode, they make you use the 2 flipper buttons on the left-hand side to control the left and right. So you got to like play left-handed. You're forced to play left-handed or like reach over. And I think that's sick. It's always got a ball save running, which is nice. And it's real cool. I don't find any of the multi-balls fun at all, to be honest. I've played a few of them, just no point to them. I do the old trap behind the flipper, play single ball, multi-ball. Not fun multi-balls. Some of the other modes, like I guess like it relies a bit on the IP to kind of carry them, but you gotta like spell out that whole marriage sequence. You gotta spell like marriage, which is pretty cool. And like, yeah, I think what carries this game is the clips and the callouts from the movie. I think it's fun seeing things from the movie that pop up on the massive screen in the middle of the game. It pop up and you got to do things related to that movie. I think moments like that are really cute and really help carry this game. But as like a real douchebag who critiques too many things on pinball machines, there are a lot of things I just think missed the mark when it comes to this game. And I do remember thinking to myself at the time, like, this is the best P3 game there is. And I think it's because the presentation of the screens really it feels real professional. Like, this feels like it feels like a real game, which is great, because before they felt like tech demos. Like, you look at this right now and then you look at Cannon Lagoon, Lexi Lightspeed, Cosmic Kart Racing, and then you look at Princess Bride. This is a real ass pinball machine, and like, there is a lot of fun to be had on it. I have enjoyed my time on it. I know I'm talking a lot of smack, but there's seriously a lot of fun to be had on it. But it does feel, I can't help but it feels a bit empty. And I don't think that's just because everything's at the back third. I just think there's not many layers to this game. Whereas Weird Al does not feel empty. It has a lot of layers, a lot of things crossing, a lot of vertical layers. But I'm thinking B tier. B tier for now, because I think Weird Al's a hell of a lot better. But you might be thinking, why is there no how's he gonna do a whole P3 list without there being anything in S tier? Well, their final game, well, not their final game, but their most recent release, Portal, for the P3, is without a doubt an S tier. I think this is just a genuinely good pinball machine. I think there's a lot of fun to be had on this game. And to preface, I've never played the games like the original Portal video games, but I've done a lot of research into it because of this game in particular. And this game is freaking awesome. It's like this design is the most thought out. Like, I can really appreciate Weird Al's seriously insane design. And this one is just the fan layout at the end of the day. There's no top flippers on that bottom part of the playfield. There is a little upper playfield and some other mechs we'll get into later, but it is just a fan layout, but it works because everything's so thought out. And so in the original video games, you got this portal gun, you shoot one portal there, shoot it on the roof, fall down, and you've got all this like momentum and physics and puzzles to work out because it's a puzzle game, right? And you've got all these portals in this game, and there's things like, you hit the ramp up to do a portal there, and every time you hit that, it hits this. It's just so thought out, and it really works. It really works. And there's just cool shit, man. You got this like launch pad in the middle, and I thought it was like a jump ramp similar to Gophers or Toy Story 4, but it's like reverse. The ball goes over this pad, so if the ball's going this way, and then that pad flips it, like throws it, basically tosses it at this back panel where you can lock the ball. It's awesome. And you got all these portals. You got like this ball that can jump up into this ledge there. It's so good, man. It's so good. This game is seriously good, like without a doubt. Like I haven't played many of the 2025 releases, but this would be below Kong, in my opinion. Kong at the top, then Portal. I don't know what else has come out. Dune, I haven't played Winchester, but Winchester's out of the picture. This looks way better than Dune. Dungeons and Dragons, any of those games, just fucking. This game's actually good, and a lot of that comes down to the rules and how integrated the rules are with the playfield. Something I've stressed in previous videos about games I seriously love, and it's when the rules and all those kind of core concepts, software-wise, are integrated into the design part of it. And there's so much moving stuff on this game. So many like things to explore. Like this is seriously a game to explore. You play. That's a good example. You play John Wick. Not much to explore there. Fan layout, bunch of ramps. Sure, you got that little disco floor kind of thing. Like, how do I feed that? Do I got to shoot at it? Is there a way to feed it from the top? I guess you got that, but like, if you're looking at the Pro, it's just like what you see is what you get. On this thing, there's so many little details, and they all are done so well. It's freaking good. I think the modes are really good. They're like, and like the visuals they have for the modes before you start a mode, they like visualize this whole map, and it somehow translates to the game so well. Like. This is a seriously amazing pinball machine. And I am referring to the extended version here. However, I don't think there's anything wrong with having the standard edition. The extended version has all of this extras stuff in the middle here, like a ramp, a spinner, and this kind of like all these little mechs on the side here. Which, yeah, it is what it is. I think it's cool. I think it definitely adds to the game. I think this right ramp gets in the way a bit, but it's pretty good nonetheless. And yeah, I think this is a seriously good game. This captive ball mech is insane. You're like, just so there's your captive ball. If we zoom in super close, you got this captive ball right here, and do you see that green ring around it? That's a portal, right? And that's one of those static captive balls that are drilled into the playfield. But there's a physical, just loose ball behind it. So when you hit the static one, knocks that loose one behind into the portal. And then depending on the state of the game, that ball will go to different places. But when you're in multi-ball and you hit that captive ball, it will hit the loose ball into a portal to this upper playfield, and if you can then throw the ball through another portal in that upper playfield, that ball will then go into the game. So you're like hitting this loose ball and trying to navigate it into the multi-ball. And so that's like how you get an adder ball. You got to hit it through all these portals until it eventually gets into the game. It's freaking insane. Like, it's seriously insane. Like, it is just, it's freaking good, man. It's freaking amazing. Seriously, the thing that sucks about this game is that it's on the P3 platform. Like, the flippers suck. If they made a standard cabinet with this game, so this is awesome. This is like genuinely so good. This is like if this wasn't on the P3, if this was released by Spooky, Stern, anyone, that like people would seriously love and fall head over heels for this game. But it's got this like P3 barrier on it. The P3's holding it back. And I like, I've thought about the modes and stuff. Like, some of the modes are really rely on relaying information on the screen in the middle there, and so there are drawbacks there. But I don't know, man. Like, if they could just put some good flippers on their game, some reliable flippers that always flip and don't wear out after 5 minutes and have good angles and decent strength, like, just, this game would be so good. But I've put up with the P3 for long enough. I've put up with their flippers. Yeah, I can make do. Well, like, honestly, my only critique of this game is there's like this piece of acrylic over the whole playfield, and it's like upper playfield height, and so you've got like, it like steals you've got a top left flipper, and it steals that mech and kind of like has this wall that comes out to hit the ball, and you want to like aim really low across this bridge. Feels really unnatural. I don't really get it, but it just like, I think if they had done this, I think it would have honestly helped boosted sales. I've seriously been this. If they had just made that a regular flipper, stolen from that flipper mech, but just put a serious flipper on there and made this a semi-upper playfield and had like a ramp or some sort of shot that was like a more natural upper flipper shot that feeds things, and have it like, that would like elevate this game to god tier level, in my opinion. I think that's the only missed opportunity, and I'm praying that on their next release they keep this upper playfield design and they steal from that upper flipper, and then they do an upper playfield over this whole TV screen playfield. I think that's where I would take P3 personally. You've got to take advantage of this cool tech with the whole screen. Portal, without a doubt, is S tier. I'm so excited to see where P3 goes in the future. And again, like, I know there's been a bit of negativity. I know I talked a lot of crap about Cannon Lagoon and whatnot. But if you have the chance to play a Portal, please do so. It is seriously such a good game. Like, without a doubt, I'm still pretty blown away by it. And it works so well on the P3 platform too. Like, the things I love about P3, the scoops and the screen and all the insane trough system at the back, just like, it was built for this. And yeah, if you can just like, if anyone from P3 is watching this and they've skipped the whole tier list, they've skipped me ranting about things, and you're watching this, please get in touch and send me some good P3 flippers. If there's an upgrade kit, or if you have any tips to get these flippers reliable for more than 10 minutes and like with actual strength behind them, please let me know if there's anything I can do. Send me some stuff because this guy, like, Portal deserves it, man. But yeah, that's my tier list here. My P3 tier list. I'm very, very excited to see where this company goes. They definitely had a rocky start, but they are innovating in ways that no other company has, and seriously are bringing pinball forward. And with games like Portal under their belt, there's a lot of I feel like they've finally started the ball rolling with Portal. And if they can keep that ball rolling and keep the momentum going, I think P3 is going to be a serious contender in the future. As one of the best companies of the current time. Just got to fix those flippers, man. But thank you for watching. If you have a P3 or know someone that has a P3, share this to them. And if you have a P3, let me know your list in the comments. Let me know why Princess Bride is actually the best game of all time, or whatnot. I'm all here for P3 discussion. I'm a big supporter of the P3 and very invested in this company, without a doubt. All right. Thank you all. Thank you all for watching. And leave a comment, leave a subscribe, leave a like. Do all of that. We got weekly videos happening. So, yeah, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss one. All right. Well, we'll catch you guys on the next vid.